In a quiet, sun-drenched village, tucked between rolling green fields and dusty paths, lived a poor man named Ramu. He owned nothing but the clothes on his back, a mud hut with a leaking roof, and two tired hands hardened by years of labor. Ramu wasn't born into wealth, nor did he expect it. Every day, before the rooster crowed, he was already on his feet, walking barefoot to the nearby fields to work as a farmhand. While others complained about the heat or the hard soil, Ramu worked silently, patiently, smiling even when the sun beat down on his shoulders. He earned only a few coins each day, just enough to buy rice for himself and his ailing mother. But never once did he curse his fate, because deep inside, he believed in something most people had forgotten: the dignity of hard work. Ramu's life was simple. After a long day in the fields, he would return home, tired, dusty, and aching. But the moment he stepped inside, his face would light up. His mother, frail and bedridden, was the center of his world. Every evening, he would kneel beside her, feed her with his own hands, and talk to her with the same warmth and respect as if she were a queen. Their meal was plain, sometimes just rice and salt, but it was always shared with love. Despite the poverty, there was peace in their home, a kind of peace that money could never buy. One evening, after another long and tiring day, Ramu sat beneath the old banyan tree at the edge of the village. The sky was painted with hues of orange and gold, and birds flew home in flocks. Ramu closed his eyes, joined his palms, and whispered a quiet prayer. "Dear God, I don't ask for riches or luxury. I just want a chance. A small chance to change my life, not for me, but for my mother, so she can sleep peacefully one day, without hunger or pain." There was no lightning, no divine voice in the wind, just silence. But Ramu smiled and stood up, ready to face another day. The next morning, as the village stirred awake, a wandering saint, Guruji, arrived, walking slowly with his wooden staff. His white beard flowed down to his chest, and his saffron robes swayed with the wind. He watched as villagers lazed around, chatting in the shade. But one figure caught his eye: Ramu, working alone in the field, his back bent under the morning sun. Guruji approached him and asked, "Son, why do you work so hard when no one is watching?" Ramu replied, wiping his brow, "Because even when no one is watching, the soil sees, and someday it will return what I give." Guruji smiled. "You speak with wisdom beyond your years. I won't give you gold, but I'll give you something greater, a chance." From a small cloth pouch, Guruji took out a single seed, round, golden, and glowing faintly in the sunlight. "Plant this," he said. "Water it, care for it, protect it, treat it like your life depends on it. But remember, it will not grow overnight. Patience is the price of this gift." Ramu bowed respectfully and took the seed home, holding it as gently as a newborn child. Ramu dug a small patch of earth beside his hut and planted the seed with both hands. Every morning, before leaving for work, he would water it. Every evening, he would check the soil, remove weeds, and speak softly to it. But weeks passed, then months, and the sapling barely grew. The villagers began to mock him. "Look at this fool," they laughed. "He thinks one tree will make him rich." But Ramu said nothing. He just smiled and kept caring for the plant, just as he cared for his mother, quiet, steady, unshaken. Seasons came and went. The rains washed the soil. The sun scorched the ground. Sometimes Ramu had to shield the young tree with old clothes. Sometimes he had no water left for himself, but still poured a little on its roots. Year after year, the tree grew. slowly, silently, stubbornly, just like Ramu's hope. A gentle mist floated over the village fields. Dewdrops clung to the grass like tiny jewels, catching the first golden rays of the rising sun. Birds chirped softly, and a light breeze whispered through the leaves. The world was quiet, almost holding its breath. Ramu stepped out of his hut, just as he had done every day for years. He carried a small pot of water in his hands, walking barefoot toward the same patch of earth he had nurtured for so long. But today, something made him stop. His feet froze, his eyes widened. There, in front of him, stood the tree, not as a sapling, not as a fragile plant, but fully grown, proud, and magnificent. Its bark shimmered with golden brown hues, smooth and rich. The leaves danced gently in the wind, releasing a sweet, calming fragrance into the air, a scent he had never known, but somehow felt deeply familiar. It was sandalwood, one of the most sacred and valuable trees in all of India. News of the tree spread quickly. Traders came from far and wide, offering Ramu more money than he had seen in his entire life. With wisdom, not greed, Ramu sold only what was needed. He used the money to build a small brick house, buy land, and even employ a few poor men from the village. Those who once mocked him now greeted him with folded hands. But Ramu hadn't changed. His hands were still calloused, and his heart still kind. Outside his new home, Ramu placed a wooden sign. It read, "Wealth is not in what you receive, but in what you grow with your own hands." Children would pass by and read it out loud, and slowly, the village began to change. Not because of money, but because one man had shown them the power of patience, purpose, and honest work. One evening, as the sun dipped low and bathed the village in gold, Ramu walked slowly through his fields, holding his mother's hand. She was old now, but her eyes sparkled with pride. Ramu looked at the land, at the tree, and at the people around him, and whispered, "It was never the seed that changed my life. It was the sweat I gave to it." And in that quiet moment, the earth itself seemed to nod in agreement. Moral of the story: success doesn't come through shortcuts or miracles. It comes through hard work, patience, and unwavering faith. Even the poorest man can rise if he never stops planting his effort